Hi, welcome to yet another episode of Candid Talks. I'm your host, Teja Gudluru. As you know, what we try to do in this show is try and understand the story between can and did. There are a lot of us who think we can do, but only a few of us who actually go ahead and do things. We talk about startups. We've been talking to a lot of other entrepreneurs in our previous episodes. Today's one is special for me. When I read these three entrepreneurs' story, the three things that came out for me. When you have a strong belief and an undying passion to do something in life, when you have a vision that is so clear that they know what they want to get done, and a leadership that is driven by values to treat not just customers, but every single employee in the organization down the hierarchy, respect and a lot of value, the experience for everyone is just going to be wow. What we have today are three such entrepreneurs who've not just created that experience, they've even named their company Wow. So I have Sandeep, Mazhar, and Jayesh, who are a part of the Wow Express team. They are the brains, the musketeers, everything behind Wow Express. And they've recently also been, their story has been reported in this wonderful book called Dul, Dhoop, and Dakka. So I'm excited to talk to the three of them today and talk to them about their journey with Wow Express as well. So Sandeep, Jayesh, and Mazhar, sir, thank you for giving your time today. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you. So
Thank
I'll get started with my first question. And because I mentioned Dhul, Dhoop, and Dakka, I know that talks about a process. I know the name's quite intriguing. How much of your story actually ties into that title, Dhul, Dhoop, and Dhakka? How much of that did you actually go through setting up Wow Express? Sandeep, maybe if you can start.
Sandeep,
Yeah, no, I think all the three words one can relate to, as in the three of us can relate to very, very, I would say realistically, in the sense that Dhul, Dhoop, and Dhaka, which basically means dust, sunlight, and push. Okay, quite literally. I think we certainly can relate to all these three words because it's been nearly about 6 years since we started Wow Express. We founded and we started Wow Express, and quite literally, we've had to go through, I would say, all the pains. I mean, just to kind of give you a small idea, we started in a quite literally a garage kind of a setting. Okay, and the word "ghoul," brings that to my memory, right? This was a 300 square feet uh, garage, where all of us and all our staff, okay, which was six uh, service marshals, our customer service manager, our IT manager, our operations manager. All of us used to sit in that 300 square feet, and we literally did not have those many chairs, right, for everyone to sit. So we used to take turns. There are photographs of us sitting on, the a ladder, and using the ladder as a step-up ladder as a chair,
Wow.
right? And yeah, I mean those were the early days. So those definitely remind me of
So were you all together since the starting, or how did this all happen?
so
so I'll
yeah.
come in here.
Yes,
Basically,
Mazhar.
Sandeep, this the entire thing, the idea was Sandeep's idea, and Sandeep was a customer during those days. He was heading Reader's Digest, and Jayesh and myself, we were working for Singapore Post, and Sandeep was a customer. And we were providing them the service, which currently all the logistics companies are providing to the e-commerce companies. That's the warehousing, doing the last mile delivery, and doing the COD. COD at during those days, it was only being done by India Post, like,
Correct.
and
Correct.
nobody else was doing it. So Singapore Post, like, we were doing it for Sandeep's company, Reader's Digest in India. And then Sandeep, like, and since e-commerce was just starting off in India, Sandeep, like, once discussed with me, like, Mazhar, why can't we do this something, like, on our own? And this is the same thing what we are doing here. We have to replicate out there. But during those days, like, we were very happy with our own job, like in Jayesh and myself. And I said, we'll do it only if, like, Jayesh will come along. And I spoke to Jayesh, and Jayesh was also like a little bit reluctant, and things didn't work out at that time, like, and then Sandeep went his own way. I joined the Bombino Express as a country head. Jayesh still remained in Singapore Post. And then one fine day, Jayesh came to me, and he came up with this, like, the same thing. And to start off, and the name Wow was given by Jayesh. Like, he said, let's, like, do this and give the Wow experience to our customer, and we'll name our company Wow Express. So we'll always have to be on our toes, like, why? Because since you give the name Wow, then a lot of responsibility comes on your shoulder, like, and that's how
Absolutely.
Wow Express, got formed, and we three joined hands. And if you see, a company name also is JMS Logistics. That's Jayesh, Mazhar, and Sandeep.
Very nice.
Yeah,
In
Sandeep,
fact,
Jayesh, want to add anything?
I have to admit, Mazhar, when I was going through your website, your about us, 3 paragraphs, is one of the most simplest and yet so powerful about us write up that I've seen in a while. Usually
Okay,
people
okay.
load it up with so much information, but in just 3 very powerful paragraphs, I understood what you did. In fact, I sent it to my team. Said, look, this is amazing. So I agree with what you're saying, Mazhar. Jayesh, this question is for you.
Yeah.
Uh, Mazhar was just talking about how you were the one behind Wow, and a little birdie told me about the sacrifices some of you had to make. And if I remember it correctly, were you the one who actually sold off your scooter and cycled to work? Was that
Uh,
you, or was that somebody else?
no, that was me. I mean, that was my car.
Oh, car.
Uh,
Okay. Wow, that's even more a bigger
yeah, kind
stake.
of fund initial capital to the company.
Right.
So yeah, that is something that those are little sacrifices that you have to make to show the passion that you are getting into. Because we all were in a kind of in a cushy jobs with all the perks, right? But when you actually need to start something from scratch, you actually have to move up from that scratch level. And yeah, I mean that was necessity at that point of time that we need to kind of put all our blood sweat into the company to make it big. So right from although we were in a better positions, but when we actually started, we started with writing those checks initially to the small vendors, right? As Sandeep has mentioned, sitting in that garage kind of an environment. We just knew that okay, we had limited corpus with us, and we have to kind of manage. We couldn't afford a kind of an accountant at that point of time. So yeah, I mean all the burden kind of need to be shared with each one of us, and we started with that. But yeah, I mean those are like some sacrifices you now recollect to kind of when you actually grow it or scale it up.
Do you guys fight a lot? As when I say fight, right? I mean, do you there very animated arguments? How do you, because three partners
Surprisingly,
is not
no.
easy, right? Because and you all seem to bring in different diverse work experiences from what Mazhar was sharing with us just a little while ago. So Sandeep, yes, go ahead. How do you guys manage to work together?
I'm saying surprisingly no. You would find, I mean, the three of us to be a very, very unique trio. Okay. In the sense that, we hardly fight. Okay. There are disagreements. I might be of a different opinion. Jayesh might be of a different opinion. Mazhar might be of a different opinion. But there aren't the so-called I would say cliche that a good team is the one that fights the most, and then so I think that's quite cliche. Okay, we do not have that. We although there's no written rule, but we typically follow a majority wins, kind of a concept. So if I have to get my work done, I have to convince either Mazhar or Jay.
Right.
So, and vice versa, right? And the third person has to, kind of agree to it. Yes, there have been learnings, there have been, we've had a set of mistakes. We've done things right, we've done things wrong. But the good part is that, even after 6 years, I would say touch wood, we still are a very, very strong team that supports and trusts each other, trust each other's decisions. That's very, very important because Mazhar handles operations, Mazhar manages the Amazon business, Jayesh manages finance. I do my bit in terms of HR. I manage the health business. I manage the warehousing piece. So we take our individual decisions, right? And we kind of trust, each other that the decision taken is, appropriate. At the same time, we ensure that there is definitely the other two founders are definitely kept in the loop. Okay, I don't think there is even a single thing that we do not keep each other in the loop, right? So every single thing, I think that's the key. Communication is the key more than argument. So I think we've got that sorted. So we communicate between the three of us very well, and hence I would say there are very little arguments.
Right. I'm so happy to hear that. In fact, in my experience, what I've realized is sometimes it's easy to stay together when you're starting up. I think most people end up staying together when things are tough, but
Right.
most people find it difficult to stay together after they've become successful.
Correct.
And I think looking at the three of you, and I love the way you use the word trust. My next question was to actually find out who manages your uh, uh, field staff. And you said Mazhar manages operations. So I'm assuming that Mazhar is the one responsible for. So how do you keep these guys motivated, Mazhar? Because I read on your website you seem to focus a lot more on your front end brand ambassadors that you call service marshals, right, rather than delivery boys. Uh, how do you keep them motivated right now? COVID, nobody's stepping out. So what happens there? How do you deal with them? You're on mute, Mazhar.
From day one, actually, we decided, that for us, these many companies call them as the delivery associates, but we thought, that by giving them this title, service marshal itself, brings a kind of a respect to their job, and honest enough, to be honest enough, they are a brand ambassador. So from day one, we ensured, that our service marshals had a uniform. They'll be going out on the field wearing the uniform and doing the deliveries. Sandeep, actually, we have certain videos also to show, we had arranged kind of a training being given out to the service marshals. Sandeep really worked around this. And then we had trained the trainer kind of a program. So, all the branch in charge and the respective heads, were given training, and then they were supposed to give training down to these service marshals. And every day before, they go out on the field, we have a kind of PCM. This is a short form of pre-work communication meeting. So before they go out on the field, they have a kind of this PCM just for around 3-5 minutes, discussing what happened yesterday, what needs to be done today, if they faced any issues kind of on the field, and so forth on, so that kinds of gives them a motivation, and during, even if in our tough times, where we were short of cash funds, and we never ever delayed salaries to be paid to the service marshals. This was a thumb rule, because they are a brand ambassador and they really work very hard in the e-commerce field, the logistics, e-commerce logistics companies. If you see, unlike the other delivery boys, where you do a normal, deliveries of documents and all, they carry a very little load. But here, they really very doing a tough job. And unfortunately, because the customers do not pay us much more, we can't impart to these angels here. And I would say they are actually angels, because even during the COVID, I really did not face any issues. In fact, during our health marshals, were being doing the deliveries of blood samples, and they were being beaten up by the cops. They had the all the documents to do the deliveries. Still, they were beaten up by the cops. But this did not deter their their enthusiasm, and they still continue doing their delivery for us. Yeah. So these are the few things which we do, which keep them happy. Initially, we had started a kind of breakfast at the branch, which also was quite enough. But since the team started growing large, so we incorporated into their salaries and pay them in the salaries.
Right.
So these are small things which we do to keep them motivated.
Yeah. And no wonder why you're so successful. 3 years. I was reading up your numbers of how you ended 2020. Sounds fantastic. My next question is for the money man here on this forum, Jayesh. Uh, Onida invested in you guys, correct? Did I get that right? You're on mute, Jayesh.
Yeah, they were the early, lead investors, who kind of, trusted in us, and they wrote the first check of 3 crores, very early on, while we were just at a concept level.
Was that easy? Was that a cakewalk convincing
It
Onida?
wasn't. No, it wasn't. It wasn't easy. I mean, we were, as I said, we incorporated company in July 2014, where we were still kind of trying to figure out. It took about 5 to 6 months of drawing room exercise in terms of what and how need to be. We actually started our deliveries. The first delivery happened on 19th of December, 2015. So sorry, 2014. So that was the first delivery of Rediff.com, and that came from the pool of investments that we had, individual investment. But while we were still talking to various investors, because logistics is a kind of a labor intensive job. It is basically people intensive, and you need working capital to kind of scale it up, right? So we have been in discussion, even during the even before we started our operations with multiple investors. It was difficult because they were already big boys who were already entered the market, such as Delivery, Com Express, and hence they were not too many takers, I would say, from an investment angle. But we three were completely, confident of kind of making inroads. And while we were talking, so we got in touch with the Onida group. Basically, one partner of Onida is Vijay Mansukhani, and he has a family trust called Tamarind Family Trust. So we got in touch with them. They were also new in the private equity investment, right? So they were also trying to explore, but they were also sure that they wanted to invest in this particular vertical, e-commerce and logistics. So, but yeah, I mean, there were multiple discussions, a lot of rounds of discussions, multiple presentations to them. It took us about 6 months, to convince them to kind of invest. And there was a time, I can tell you, I think it was June 2016, right? Me and Mazhar, we were sitting in a kind of the same garage kind of a location, and we ran out of our money completely, right? So there was only 16,000 rupees left in the bank account, and we were just wondering how do we kind of make salaries. Although a lot of discussions have already progressed with Onida, but the check wasn't there. The term sheet discussions had happened. The agreement was there, but wasn't signed as such, right? And Mazhar, it was, I think it was the Eid time, right? And
Yes, yes.
all of a sudden in the evening we got a message from our mobile saying that 1 crore is transferred. The first tranche of that money came to us, and I think that was a very joyous moment for us. So it was difficult, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, we got that thing done.
I was taking a jibe. I know getting an investment is never easy.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to know the story because uh, a lot of startups right now in the market,
Yeah.
right, seem to be focusing more on investments than business. And when I read your story, you focused
Yeah.
on the business before you actually went asking for money.
That's
And
right.
for me also as an entrepreneur, that's an incredible story. And so Sandeep, where do you go from here as Wow Express? uh, you've closed on a high 2020 in spite of COVID. So where do you go
Right.
from here?
Yeah, no, I think we have our path clearly charted. Okay. We know exactly, where we want to be. See, in this industry, you're limited by, your reach, right? Currently, I mean, India has close to about 20,000 pin codes, across the length and breadth of India, 19,800 or something like that, right? And we cater to just about 1,350 pin codes, right? So for us, the canvas is really huge, right? Of course, I mean, we have never taken the spray and pray approach, and we do not intend to, take it in the future also. But there is a clear-cut, path wherein we know that from the 1350 pin codes, we want to be in 4,000 pin codes, which caters to about 75% of the overall e-commerce market, which is good enough for us to probably quadruple our volumes, right?
Right.
And of course, I mean, the idea is we have a 4-year, we have a 5-year plan ready. We intend to be close to about 700 crore business, in about 4 years' time.
Wow.
So yeah, and it is possible. It is not that it is not possible, because the first few years are the most difficult ones. Once you have learned how to scale up, then it's just I would say mostly copy paste, but yeah, a little bit more than copy paste, but yeah, it is not something that is not possible. So that is there, of course. I mean, and we have certain very unique propositions, such as the health piece, wherein we are one of the very few organizations or logistics startups in the country that actually provides tech-enabled blood sample pickup and drop
Right.
facility.
Right.
Right. So we intend to grow that business as well, and build a solid business, focusing on two, I would say, very in demand and growing segments, right?
Absolutely.
E-commerce as well as healthcare, right? So you cannot go wrong with either of these two segments, at least in the near future.
Right.
Right. So that's the vision that we have for ourselves, or at least the next 4 to 5 years. How do we see things panning out for us?
Absolutely. And congratulations. It's an incredible story, guys. Just so impressed with how clear your vision is, even as you speak now, Sandeep, about the next 4 years. It almost seems like you know what's going to happen with precision. Of course, market and things have their own way of.
We have been through it all. We have I would say seen it all, because we've been through demonetization, we've been through GST, okay, we've been through COVID.
COVID.
So I think we are definitely ready for whatever is the next thing going to come in, right? So we started in 2015, 2016 was demonetization, 17 was GST, and 20 was COVID, right? So we've seen the highs and the lows, right? So we did take severe hits, the business, but somehow we managed to stay afloat and also thrive. Yeah, I mean, the stress is there, because I don't know, maybe this is one of your questions, but one thing that really keeps us awake in the night is the fact that there are more than 2,000 families that are dependent on us, right? So
Right. Right.
feeding them, and taking care of their livelihood is, I think the most important thing that keeps,
Absolutely.
us, doing what we are doing, right? So, because beyond a certain, I would stage, it is not so much about you. It becomes about the company and the other people who are, dependent on the company,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
So, in 6 years of existence, I think, we are at that stage now.
Right. So before I let you go, and I know you're very busy, and you pulled your time off your schedules. If I were to ask each of you to give me one word, just one word, as your message to startups who are just coming up, maybe in your vertical or generally in India as startups who are coming post-COVID era or the new normal era now, one word as a message for them. What's the one word that sits with you? So I'm going to start with Mazhar. The one word message that you want. For me, I think I've already picked it up from you. It's trust. Trust your teammates, right? So that's my message. How about yours, Mazhar? What's your one word
I,
for
I, I think it's perseverance,
perseverance?
So you need to be if you have that, then you will achieve your goal. So
All right.
just keep on trying, because for startups, that is very, very important. And just keep on trying, and it will happen.
Thank you. And Jayesh, what is your one word message for
I
startup?
think passion. I think passion is the word, right? Because that kind of keeps you awake, to get the venture to the next level. So for me, passion is the word.
Thank you, Jayesh. And Sandeep, your one word.
I had actually thought of both those words, but since they have already mentioned those words, there's a third one which is very, very important. You know, bottom line.
Right. Absolutely. So, and I think it kind of shows in your show story as well, the three of you, right? When there is passion to begin with, that's the ignite, that's the spark that starts it all. The perseverance not to give up, right? And of course, the bottom line is going to happen if the both are.
That I think comes from our hard learning. That we need to focus more on bottom line than what we should have.
Absolutely.
So for startups, don't lose focus on that as well.
Right, right, absolutely, absolutely. And I think uh, to kind of sum it up and first of all to thank you for giving this time on the show. I just want to say people like you who are driven by values and I can sense it in every word that you say. Uh, and I love that little anecdote that you added that your funding actually happened around Eid when you had 60,000 bucks in your account. I heard in one of the stand-up comedians or somebody say this that दुआ से ज्यादा और दौलत नहीं है दुनिया में, right? So my dua for all you guys is for being so passionate, for caring for your employees, for being value driven. I hope you achieve more than what your target is of 600 crores in the next 4 years. And I hope you do a fantastic job in creating more employment. We need entrepreneurs like you. So thank you for your time on the show today, and good
Thank
luck.
you. Thank you.
I really want more people to read your story on Dhul, Doop, and Dhakka book, so that more